And welcome to Hannity's America as we look back at what has been to date the dirtiest presidential campaign in American history. Now, in 2012, nothing has been off limits for liberals. They've accused Mitt Romney of being a felon, a tax cheat, even a murderer. And although many of these lines of attack have sadly been used by the left in the past, President Obama and his allies have taken the politics of division to new levels this election cycle. Now, what we've seen in recent months is the president's willingness to plagiarize the very worst attributes of Democratic candidates past, like John Kerry. Barack Obama is willing to flip and flop and say anything to get elected. And like Al Gore, Barack Obama is willing to look directly into the camera and distort any and all facts to win the support of voters. And so, over the course of the next hour, we're going to demonstrate how the 2012 Obama playbook is nothing short of the ultimate highlight reel of the sleaziest and most desperate methods that have long been utilized by Democrats in the past. From class warfare to the race card, we're going to cover it all. And we begin with a look at some of the left's most offensive scare tactics aimed at frightening you, the American people, into supporting President Obama. Let's take a look.
If you don't have any fresh ideas, then you use stale tactics to scare voters. If you don't have a record to run on, then you paint your opponent as someone people should run from.
Barack Obama, in his own words, 4 years later, reads like a prophetic description of his 2012 re-election campaign.
If you reject the notion that our government is forever beholden to the highest bidder, you need to stand up in this election.
And since the anointed one does not have a record to run on, it's no surprise that the left has taken a page out of the long-established Democratic playbook. They have no choice but to use scare tactics.
The Republican vision is clear.
Murder rates are up, robberies are up.
When they say they'll turn around the economy, beware.
Rapes are up.
He has signed up for positions, extreme positions.
I got mine. The rest of you are on your own.
They're going to put you all back in chains.
Now, in an attempt to scare and frighten senior citizens into voting for the president, in 2012, Democrats dusted off the old, reliable Medi-scare tactic.
Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan both want to end Medicare as we know it.
I wouldn't trust the Republicans on Medicare as far as I can throw them.
What's missing from the Romney-Ryan plan for Medicare is Medicare.
Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan want to end the Medicare guarantee and turn it into a voucher, which would leave seniors with the increased costs.
Now, these desperate Democrats are twisting and distorting the facts in order to terrify seniors into believing that the Romney-Ryan White House would eliminate Medicare as we know it.
It is not a plan to strengthen Medicare. It is a death spiral for Medicare. And let's be honest, the Republican Party has never been supportive of Medicare. You know, if Medicare is a concern, certainly you wouldn't choose them as the ticket.
However, the Medicare plan that Paul Ryan has presented would not apply to people over the age of 55, meaning that Medicare would stay exactly as it is for today's seniors, a fact that liberals fail to mention.
You missed the spot.
But this type of shady politics is nothing new for the left. In fact, it's business as usual.
I want to be president of the United States because I love this country and I think it's going in the wrong direction. People are worried about how they're going to be able to have a retirement. How are you going to have health care?
If you count on Medicare, it would mean fewer places to get care and less freedom to choose your own doctors. You'll pay more for your drugs. You'll receive fewer services. You'll get lower quality care. I don't think that's right. In fact, it ain't right.
But Medi-scare is merely the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the Obama campaign's dirty tactics. Now, the president's operatives are also busy fabricating the idea that Republicans have launched a, quote, war on women.
I think Mitt Romney's really out of touch with the average woman's health issues.
So this November, we're going to remember
how you threw women under the bus just to get the nomination.
Now, beyond Medi-scare and attempts to manufacture a GOP-led war on women, Democrats would also like you, the voters, to believe that without them, our children would go uneducated and the environment would suffer.
My plan says we're going to put teachers back in the classroom, construction workers back to work rebuilding America. That's my plan. And then you got their plan, which is let's have dirtier air, dirtier water, less people with health insurance.
Now, if all of this sounds familiar, it's because the president is merely taking a page out of a long-established left-wing playbook.
This is one of America's most precious resources. We need to protect our oceans and beaches, and if elected president, I'll do that.
But what makes this election different and sets it apart from the dirtiest of our time are campaign ads like this one.
When Mitt Romney and Bain closed the plant, I lost my health care, and my family lost their health care. And a short time after that, my wife became ill.
Now, this ad says it all. It accuses Governor Mitt Romney of essentially murdering a woman, and later in the program, we're going to show you the face behind this despicable pro-Obama super PAC ad.
There was nothing they could do for her, and she passed away in 22 days.
And as usual, the left stood by the ad despite the public outcry.
Is that the kind of rhetoric you want to hear in a campaign like this, especially from the side of the President of the United States, especially a president who ran 4 years ago on raising the level of rhetoric?
Well, you do know that we don't have anything to do with Priorities USA.
And how about the other members of Team Obama? Oh, they just claimed ignorance.
I do not have any role in third-party groups that produce these ads.
This is an ad by an entity that's not controlled by the campaign.
Now, this type of fear-mongering clearly shows one thing. President Obama and his re-election team are scared. They have no good ideas, no fresh solutions, and no record to run on. The Democrats are banking on the fact that American voters aren't smart enough to see through all these liberal lies.
Mr. President, take your campaign of division and anger and hate back to Chicago and let us get about rebuilding and reuniting America.
And coming up next on Hannity's America, we examine the key component of the president's divide and conquer campaign strategy, that being, of course, class warfare. We're going to investigate how the Obama campaign hopes to pit the haves versus the have-nots in order to win a second term in office. That, much more, coming up next.
From helping workers